Welcome to our open book, everybody. Very good to be with you. I have a very special guest who's written a very special book. Do I know you? Sadie Dingfelder. Um, of course, the subtitle of Face Blind Reporter's Journey into the Science of Sight, Memory, and Imagination. It's an extraordinary memoir, and we should say the author, Sadie Dingfelder, joins us from West Virginia. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thrilled to be here. Thank you. Yeah, they put a lot of words on the cover of that book. I'm surprised they were able to fit them all.
Oh, publishers. Sadie is a very accomplished and distinguished science reporter and discovered in life something that, I will let her tell the story. But then she's written a book about it and opens the door for a lot of people. And actually, anyone who reads the book, I think, will view their lives and what we perceive in life differently. Could I get you to take us to that moment in the store? You've got, I think, Lunder's bagels in your hands,
Yeah.
and you see somebody with peanut butter. If I could get you to tell the story.
Yeah. So I was grocery shopping with my then boyfriend, now husband, Steve. And he's a major food snob. So he always gets like the most expensive of everything. So when I saw him grabbing a jar of generic Safeway brand peanut butter off of the shelf, I was surprised. And I was like, Steve, since when do you buy generic? And at this point, I had like plucked the peanut butter out of the cart and I was like brandishing it like Exhibit A in some sort of trial. And Steve looked back at me and he was like horrified. He looked like he had seen a ghost. And I almost looked behind me because Steve's like a really big guy and you just don't see him looking like terrified that often. And that's when I realized that this person was not my boyfriend, Steve, but actually a Steve-shaped stranger, just another very big guy with basically a very similar gray coat. And so I dropped the peanut butter and I ran off and I was super embarrassed. And uh, when I found Steve, I told him, and he didn't even blink an eye. He's like, yeah, this stuff happens to you all the time. But for me, it was the first time in a whole lifetime of sort of wacky mishaps that I was reflective enough to think, you know what, this kind of thing does not happen to normal people.
Well,
And yeah, so I think a more typical person would probably have gone to a neurologist at this point, but I'm a science writer, science reporter, so I went home and just started researching, and pretty quickly I came up with this term prosopagnosia, which is also just means face blindness, and I learned that there's this thing that I thought I might have, um, and so that sort of just kicked me off on this wild journey where, at the age of 40, you just feel like you know yourself pretty well. And it turns out I didn't know myself at all. I had no idea that I was failing at things that most people find to be trivially easy. And I was just really failing all the time. I had no idea.
help us understand that because it turned out you eventually diagnosed with what I'll call a trifecta.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't even want to say conditions. How do I?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because the neurodiversity movement is really trying to reframe things
Yeah,
as just extreme ends of normal human variation. Prosopagnosia, I feel like most of us with it would like to be able to recognize people if we could just magically be able to do that. But it's just a normal curve. So there's 2% of the people in the world are just atrociously bad at remembering faces. And there's actually 2% on the other side that are super recognizers, and they're incredible. They can never forget a face. It's wild. But yeah,
they're aluminum siding salespeople. But yes, go ahead.
yes. And the people who call you up for like from your college alumni association.
Right. Yes. We
But no,
notice you haven't made a contribution this quarter. Yes, right. Yeah.
right. But what I discovered was that the trifecta is that I have prosopagnosia or face blindness. I have stereo blindness, which is really the most strange thing of all the things I have because it means my world is just flat like little paper cutouts. If you could beam into my head, you would think the world had just collapsed and all the space was gone. And then I also have aphantasia, which is a total inability to visualize anything, which sort of goes with a very poor autobiographical memory. So I can't do that Proustian mental time travel where you taste a Madeleine and all of a sudden you're whisked
Yeah.
back to a moment from your youth.
Sometimes a Madeleine is just a Madeleine.
Yeah,
Um,
always for me. It's always just a cookie.
um, how do you see the world? I mean, and how do you navigate the world?
It's so interesting because it's so normal for me. And so what I've been just learning about is what it's like to navigate the world as other people and trying to contrast it. So I think if you were to beam into my brain, you would find yourself sort of immersed in a world of strangers, basically, or you can treat everyone like they're your best friend. Those are kind of your two options. And what I learned while I was writing my book is that most people with prosopagnosia really end up swinging one direction or the other. So the people who probably would have been a little bit introverted or shy end up very shy. And those of us who were going to be extroverts anyway end up just very extroverted and just like friendly to literally everyone all the time. I smile at anyone who seems to be looking in my general direction. And I, as a result, I one time tricked this poor woman into having a whole conversation with me in Adams Morgan on the sidewalk, who I realized like 5 minutes into this conversation that I did not know her. She did not know me either.
Well, but I'm sure you both valued the exchange. Would you mind sharing with us some of what I'll call the surveillance tactics that you
The
sometimes use?
surveillance tactics, you mean? Okay, so yeah, I didn't realize that I had all of these hacks or that they were even hacks until I found out that I had prosopagnosia, because for me it was just like how you operated in the world. So one of the things I often do still is I will say, this is so bad, but I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like my driver's license picture is terrible. Like, can I see you always take such great photos. Let me see yours." And then the other person will be like, "Oh no, mine is terrible too." And then I get to look at their driver's license.
Oh my God.
I'll also
Um,
look at people's mail, like if I'm in someone's house, like all the time, actually.
Good Lord. You you've spent a lot of time in MRIs.
Yes, a lot.
In fact, you even got dizzy, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right, because I got to go into a state-of-the-art 7 Tesla MRI at, the Martinos Center, which is part of, MIT and Harvard, I think.
Yeah.
And your average hospital MRI is like 3 Tesla, right? So that's a pretty powerful magnet, but it's not a 7 Tesla magnet. And so they actually go up to 9 now. I don't know if they use it on humans yet or if it's just like lab animals, but anyway, the magnet's so powerful, it messes with your sense of balance. And so when I was in that one, I felt like I was rolling up the wall of the like tube. It was really interesting, but it didn't affect me that much. And it turns out that I am a very gifted study participant in that
Yeah.
I can stay still for very long periods of time in the dark, and I'm not really bothered by it.
They have to drug me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hate MRIs. I have a thing about MRI claustrophobia.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I'm like,
Yeah.
just throw me in there all day. It's comfy.
Um, Once you began to understand what you were living with, were there a lot of people who finally came forward and said, I'd always wondered about that.
Oh my gosh, yes. Facebook, it was wild because I posted on Facebook, I just discovered I have prosopagnosia. Like, did anyone notice anything weird about me growing up? And I got this like flood of responses and messages. And this one, I was very, very lonely in middle school. And my previous explanation for that was just like, oh, well, I'm a little bit quirky and middle schoolers are mean, like, and whatever. That happens to a lot of people, right? But what I discovered is that there was a lot of people who were trying to be friends with me, and I would just be very hot and cold from their perspective. So, yeah, these people, I know I was so lonely and people were throwing little like life rafts at me and I was not able to see it
Uh,
because there was this one woman, she emailed me and she said, I just thought you didn't like me because like you would pretend like she thought that I was pretending like I didn't know her or didn't see her like half of the time. And like, and also I doubt that I have like left a string of heartbroken suitors in my past, but I know of at least two guys who I like hit it off with at a party and then who like I later completely ignored in a different context, and they thought, "Oh, I guess she's not into me," and never flirted with me again.
Oh, God bless. Your life might have been about your husband sounds like a great guy.
You know what's crazy though? My
Yeah.
husband is a very big guy. So it turns out that all of my best friends in my life and everyone I've dated are very visually distinctive. Like my best friend Miriam is tiny and has blue hair. So, and very energetic. And in high school, oh gosh, in elementary school, I was best friends with like the one black kid in my grade who has many other fine qualities, but she was like the only person I could pick out of a crowd.
Mm. We have some questions that are coming in from
Yeah.
There's a question from
Shirley.
S.R. O'Brien. Has the use of a mobile phone helped you navigate the world? Do you have any apps to recommend?
Not for human recognition. I actually just saw that Meta is like rolling out facial recognition on their glasses, which for me would be like sort of transformative. But I totally understand everyone who hates that too. Um, yeah. So in terms of apps on my phone or modern technology, the thing that's really been helpful to me is the ability to take notes on people because I actually, not only do I not remember faces, but I actually forget a lot of biographical details about people because, and neurologically, it turns out that your face acts, I mean, the image of the face of someone's face in your brain acts as a node for all the other information you learn about them. And so if you don't have that, you can just lose everything in the bottom of your filing cabinet. And so I'm really bad at I like my best friend, I like can't remember her brother's name like most of the time. And so I take notes and I write down everyone's kids' names and ages and birthdays and notable things like so and so's getting knee surgery. And that has helped me a lot because that otherwise you're always stuck at the like how's the weather level of conversation.
Yeah, we have other questions, and Kathleen wanted to share.
A question from Maggie. Have you asked many people about what they see or hear in their own minds?
Yes, I ask everyone this. And there's a wild amount of diversity in people's inner experiences that I think we do not appreciate. And I think, you always start to wonder at some point, like, what is it like to be in someone else's like brain? And and then you eventually get to the point where like, well, I guess we'll never know. It's impossible to know. I bet it's roughly the same as mine. I mean, that's what happened to me. But what's really cool is that with MRI, with brain imaging and other clever modern techniques, scientists are beginning to actually get into this question of the subjective quality of your life and what it's like. Yeah, what the qualia is. And that's the most interesting thing. So one of my tiny best friend, Miriam, she has a completely different inner life than me. And I had no idea. She can visualize almost as vividly as if things were in front of her. And it really helped me understand her so much better because she cannot get over breakups. And I get over, like, when I was dating, I would get over a breakup in like roughly a week. And whereas she'd be pining over some guy like a year later. And I think that the fact that she could conjure up that person and replay moments that they had been through was really part of the reason why she lived in the past a lot more than I do.
Do you dream?
Yes, very vivid. I have lovely, vivid dreams. And most people with aphantasia do. But the moment we wake up, it's gone. We have no imagery anymore. We can just kind of describe it.
Yeah. We have other.
A question from Rhonda Scott Marak. What about voice and peripherals, things like clothing? Do you see those, hear those, remember them?
Well, so, I mean, Oliver Sacks said that he had this great phrase, like he remembered the sort of, the physical, like the way people moved in space. And other people with prosopagnosia I've talked to are really good with voices. Or this one little girl, her mom told me that she had memorized all of the shoes of her classmates. in order to tell them apart, which is so sweet. I guess her classmates don't have a lot of shoes, but for me, I am not one of these people. Like, I have no real
Corazon Aquino, or not Corazon Aquino. I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't have any like things that help me figure it out. I just sort of bluster my way through it and look at people's mail.
Yeah.
There's a question from Linda Grimm. Did I understand that you have no depth perception? Can you drive a car?
Great question. I love that, because I did not realize I did not have depth perception until, again, like when I was 40 and I was discovering all this stuff about myself. And but I did not know how to drive. I was afraid to drive when I was 16, and everyone else was getting a driver's license. It's kind of a long story. I did get a driver's license, but not by passing the test. So I never really learned to drive, and I never drove. You'll be happy to hear. Or maybe not, because in my book, once I learned why I've been afraid to drive, people like me who are stereo blind are way less likely to drive than people who see normally, even if we don't know it, right? So anyway, once I found out I was stereo blind, and once I read about how we are actually not worse at driving than anyone else, is how they put it, which is to say, people are not very good at driving. We should not be commercial drivers, but we're okay with a regular driving situation. So when I learned that, I learned how to drive, and now I drive everywhere, which has really expanded my life in major ways.
Excuse me, is that a good idea?
For me to drive. But you know what? I mean, I still have on my car.
I don't drive.
Oh, really?
Just because I never learned. I can tell you the whole story, but I like to tell people that the world is a safer place because I don't drive.
The world may have been safer before I learned to drive, but I'm mostly on these like empty country roads in West Virginia, and I still have my student. I have like a little bumper sticker that says "Please be patient, student driver," because I just feel like other people should know that I might make a decision that they would find to be weird. But one time I was like putting gas in my car, and some guy was next to me, and he was like, "Oh, you must have a teenager." And I was like, "No, I'm the student. I'm a lifelong learner."
Oh.
So I just wanted to mention my mother suffered from this, and she didn't realize. She knew she had it caused her a problem because she never recognized people, even if she'd had a long conversation with them.
And Caroline's mother was the most beautifully gregarious person.
She was gregarious, but so this was really an impediment for her. And it was later when she read Oliver Sacks' article in the New Yorker that she understood what this was.
Did it help her?
Very much, yes. I think your book is going to do that for a lot of people too.
I hope so. I love getting emails from people who are like, "Oh my God, I recognize myself and I never could catch a ball," for instance. Or that's the stereo blindness part. Or, now I understand why, my life is structured the way it is.
I hope I'm not stretching here, but does your book make people grapple with the idea that there is not one normal? We're all a little different, just some of us more than others.
Yeah, I think that what it made me grapple with, and what I'm still grappling with, is just how different other people's lived experiences. Like, when you are young or maybe high on pot, you think, "Oh, is the red I see the same red that everyone else sees?" And there's an answer to this, which is no, probably not, because if you close one eye and look through, like if you change the eye you're looking through, oftentimes the red looks slightly different from eye to eye because your lenses are different thicknesses. At least once you're over the age of 25. So, but your brain is actively constructing your entire world, and all of the information it's getting is highly ambiguous and sketchy, and it's filling in details, making guesses, and different people's brains make different guesses. So, like, not just like your imagination, it's like your lived experience, your physical world looks and feels really different than many other people's.
May I ask, Sadie, if you're in a small conversational knot and somebody says, "Imagine a beach," what do you do?
It's so funny because my entire life, I thought I would hear people say that all the time. And I thought they just meant think about a beach. Like, let's think abstractly about beaches. I didn't realize that they were actually conjuring up almost a hallucination of a beach in front of them. And scientists have seen that it actually does like activate the fusiform place area, or is it in your brain? The area of your brain that lights up when you are looking at a place actually also lights up when you're visualizing that place. And when I say you, I mean neurotypical people, not me. It does not happen with me. My brain, my visual areas do not light up when I try to imagine things.
Mm. I noticed one of our comments, probably more than just one, is talking about you have the most marvelous laugh. I'm going to reach a superficial, spontaneous, quick diagnosis here.
Okay.
Have you used humor to help
Oh,
maneuver?
yeah. Yeah, I feel like you can. I mean, the thing about having prosopagnosia is that in some sense, it is like a nonstop comedy of mistaken identity. Like my life happens, like weird things happen to me all the time. Like I'll make plans with someone and then the person I don't expect will show up. And
That's how my wife and I met.
right.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of wacky, zany things. I've always thought this happens to me. I don't know why the world is intent on having weird things happen to me. Now I realize I'm bringing it myself. But that said, like, yeah, I think that it's if you have a good attitude about it, you can just roll with the punches. And I think that that's actually the gift of prosopagnosia is, sometimes people try to come up with like, oh, you must be able to see deep into people's personalities or hearts or something since you can't see their faces. And I mean, that may be true for some people, but for me, I have no compensatory thing like that. But for me, the real gift is just flexibility. Like the world is constantly not going to, things, I just trust myself to be able to figure it out and like move forward no matter what happens.
Well, I can't thank you enough for spending all of this time with us and for writing this book. Do I Know You? A Face-Blind Reporter's Journey into the Science of Sight, Memory, and Imagination.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Well, the pleasure is ours. Thank you so much. The honor is ours. I think we all learned a lot. It was great to be with you. I can't thank you enough.
Thank
And
you.
um, this is yeah. Um,
If people have questions, I see questions we didn't answer, like find me on social media or whatever. I will answer them. I'd be happy to.
oh, all right. Tomorrow night, let me tell our folks, we'll have the promo. I'll do the promo for our show on Saturday, and I will do that from our offices. And very good to be with you tonight on our open book. And thanks to our great guest. So thanks very much for being with us. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.